Just ahead on American Sunrise, breaking overnight a new deal to reopen our government. A handful of Senate Democrats came to their senses, at least for a moment. Will it all finally push through? We'll have the details on these late-breaking developments as they happen. Also breaking, President Trump pardons Rudy Giuliani, Sidney Powell, Boris Epshteyn, John Eastman, and Mark Meadows, and 72 other individuals allegedly associated with the effort to challenge the 2020 election results. Those details are just ahead. And New York Attorney General Letitia James claims she is the target of government. She claims her mortgage fraud charges stem from her going after President Trump. What are her next moves? We're going to tell you all of that. Oh, wait, no, we have more. Later, tomorrow, is the very important, how could we almost forget, Veterans Day. Just ahead, and causes all patriots that you need to know about to honor those who served. Those stories, so much more. We'll get this done. American Sunrise starts this Monday, right now.
Good morning, America.
Welcome to American Sunrise.
Whether it's culture,
we have breaking news to share with you.
Politics.
President Trump is joining us live now from Florida.
We've got you covered.
This is what it looks like to be a patriot.
We have to protect the American family.
The American dream is still alive.
I'm David Brody.
I'm Terrence.
And I'm Dr. Gina.
Good morning. I'm Dr. Gina. We are live with you from the Palm Beaches. Want to bring in David Brody. He's in Washington, D.C., and T. Bates in our Denver newsroom. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Dr. G.
Dr. Gina and David, good morning. Dr. Gina, you laid out so many stories that are making headlines that are really huge this morning. Front and center, of course, the fact that it looks like we might be on the precipice of ending this government shutdown. As you said, a handful of Democrats have crossed the aisle to vote with Republicans. We're expecting that the House is going to return to vote on this particular bill that would reopen the government. David, the thing that comes to mind, though, is Senate Majority Leader John Thune telling Democrats basically on, I guess, Friday, Saturday, look, we're going to stay in session until this thing ends. And look at how quickly they responded and got something done, it seems like.
Yeah, it feels like we need a live camera right now on the mental health session going on among Democrats this morning. I mean, the progressive wing of the party, a.k.a. the base of the party, is so angry with those 8 Senate Democrats who caved, basically. And by the way, Chuck Schumer voted no on this, but they're still angry at Chuck Schumer because he allowed those 8 Democrats to vote with the Republicans. So let's be clear. Chuck Schumer thought he could vote no and he would say, oh, I'll be saved. The progressives won't hate me. No, they hate you as well. So it does not matter. Boy, this whole thing. Look, this is a deal. Democrat. Why am I so I'm so animated this morning. I need to just ramp it. Hold on. Okay, I'm fine now. Look, this is a deal Democrats, Gina, could have had a month ago. Okay, all there is, we're going to promise to vote at some point in December on the Obamacare subsidies. I mean, that's what John Thune said a month ago. I mean, what a cave by the Democrats, and good for the Republicans for standing strong. Finally, they did not buckle. Shocking. Let's be honest, they always buckle.
Agreed. I wanted to point to, I thought Jake Novak's tweet was very point on. He said, Senate Democrats couldn't care less about laid-off workers or people on food stamps. What really ended this shutdown was that they and their donors were finally inconvenienced by the flight cancellations. That's all it took. Trump's team should take note of that next time. It's absolutely true, Jake Novak. I think that's what we're looking at here. And then just the other thing I want to say is apparently some of the people, their food stamps were restored. The number 1 and 2 items sold over the weekend to people on EBT restored. Do you know what it was? 1 and 2, Terrence and David.
Probably soda would be among them, I would think.
Very good. David, you want to get the other one for the win?
Well, candy? I don't know. I was going to say soda and milk. Chips. Okay, there you go.
And soda. There you go. So, I mean, this is why government should never be involved in the business of private charity. Government should not be charity. There you got that.
Hey, guys, really quickly before we get to our prayer, Fox News is out with this headline, which says Trump pardons Rudy Giuliani, Mark Meadows, Sidney Powell, others involved in 2020 election interference saga. The president, of course, didn't pardon himself. Ed Martin says this proclamation ends grave injustice. Very quickly, each of you, 15 seconds. Your thoughts, Dr. Gina?
Yeah, I'm really, really glad this happened. I just want the truth to continue to come out and shine the light on it to expose it. These are lies that they wanted in our history books, right? The 2020 election was definitely stolen. We know it. It's provable. The numbers are out there. And it's really, really beautiful, David, I think, to see this come to light and the truth about J6, which came to light over the weekend, too, which I'm sure we'll discuss as well.
I'll give you 10 seconds. President Trump always has the last word. The shot was the victory in 2024. The chaser is this morning. He always has the last word.
Ooh, alcohol reference, and he doesn't even drink.
Absolutely. I'm going to drink after the show.
All right, let's get to today's Bible verse. I think we need it this morning badly. It's from Psalm 89, 15 and 16. Blessed are the people who know the joyful sound. They walk, O Lord, in the light of your countenance. In your name they rejoice all day long, and in your righteousness they are exalted. That's a beautiful one. Somebody write that down for me, because I want to put that, attribute that in my new devotional that I'm putting together for everybody. All right. The longest government shutdown in U.S. history continues, but an end could be in sight. The Senate advanced a deal that would end the shutdown. It would fund the Department of Agriculture, Veterans Affairs, and military construction, and the legislative branch for the full fiscal year and the rest of the government until late January. Senate Majority Leader John Thune said there will be a vote next month on whether to extend Obamacare subsidies. For more, let's bring in the chairman of the American Defense International, Van Hip. Van, you know, it's not really, even if the whole shutdown solves itself, it's not really going to get much less traumatic as we go forward looking at funding all of this, is it?
No, it's not, Dr. Gina, and we still got probably several more days to go. This was just a procedural vote. Then the filibusters got to go back to the House. More procedural votes in the Senate before it even gets to the president's desk. And then the Republicans have promised to vote sometime mid-December on extending the Obamacare tax credits, which is an absolute farce. And Speaker Johnson has not committed to bring that up. So a lot more to go, but they are going to move forward with appropriations that would pay our veterans and also the Department of Agriculture. So that's in place. So it's what is really ludicrous to me of this whole thing, what the mainstream media has failed to point out. The House passed CR just to keep the budget, to keep the country open. This isn't a Donald Trump budget. This is the FY24. This is the old President Biden era budget that the Democrats supported in the past. So that's kind of gotten lost. The Republicans voted to keep the government open at Biden era spending levels. I wrote an article years ago basically saying that America needs Harry Truman Democrats again. And lately I've been asking myself, are there any Harry Truman Democrats left? I do think you got to give credit to those 3 Democrat senators in the Senate who voted with Republicans from the outset to keep the government open. Of course, 5 more crossed the aisle last night. So I think you've got to give credit to them for putting their country above party.
No, I think that's a great point. And I'm glad you mentioned the process that's going to play out this week. Just because the Senate voted in this filibuster vote late last night doesn't mean that this thing's a done deal quite yet. And good luck in the House trying to corral enough votes to get this thing passed. You think they will, but we probably will have something on the president's desk maybe by Wednesday, Thursday. We'll see. Hey, let me move on, Van, about these $2,000 checks for Americans. This is something President Trump talked about on Truth Social over the weekend. He said this: people that are against tariffs are fools. We are now the richest, most respected country in the world with almost no inflation and a record stock market price. 401ks are highest ever. We are taking in trillions of dollars. We'll soon begin paying down our enormous debt, 37 trillion. Record investment in the USA, plants and factories going up all over the place. Then he says this, a dividend of at least $2,000 a person, then he says not including high-income people, will be paid to everyone. To be clear, this is interesting, what he's trying to say. We should mention, though, that you can't just do this as a president without Congress getting involved. I mean, Congress controls the purse here. They're going to have to pass legislation. Though Scott Bessent was saying over the weekend that some of this money could come from tax provisions that's already been passed and signed into law. I'm curious to get your take on this, because I know a lot of folks say, hey, just pay down the debt and that debt and deficit, all that.
No, you're right. The Constitution specifically provides that Congress has got to be involved in something like this. And Secretary Bessent, who I think is the best Secretary of the Treasury we've had since Alexander Hamilton, has said that this rebate, if you will, can come in several forms. But let's take a step back and look at what's happened here. The Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget, which is a bipartisan group that's been around for over 40 years, dedicated to reducing the deficit of this country, says that under President Trump's policies, we've seen an increase of 250% in tariff revenues into the treasury of this country. And that's probably on the low end, because President Trump's tariffs didn't really go into effect until we were 1/3 of the way in to this fiscal year. Look, President Trump, I believe, is the best salesman for America we've ever had. I'd like to see him put on that red baseball cap, get out of the White House, go to Alabama, go to Michigan, go to Nevada, and remind the people what has happened this year. This country was in a world of hurt when he took office. We've got record revenues from tariffs coming into this country. We've got record investments coming into this country from overseas. We've got a secure border all at the same time, and we've got a commander-in-chief who is finally holding communist China accountable. It is a great news story to tell. I'd love to see him put on that red baseball cap, get out there with the grassroots, and really force the mainstream media to have to cover this American comeback story.
Van Hipp, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Van.
All right, coming up, we check out the hottest headlines from the RAV newsroom with T. Bates. And later, Russia launched nuke strikes into Ukraine. What do they damage, and what does this mean for the war going forward? Expert analysis just moments away right here this Monday with you on America Sunrise.